10 Best Electric Cars in the World. Number 10. Renault Megane E-Tech. The production version was revealed at the 2021 in Munich in September 2021, while sales in Europe started in February 2022. It was previewed by the Megane E-Vision concept car that was unveiled in October 2020, followed by a preview of a near-production prototype in June 2021. The Megane E-Tech is available with two different batteries, 40 kWh or 60 kWh, and two different traction motors with outputs of 96 or 160 kW, 129 or 215 HP, and 250 or 300 Nm, 180 or 220 lb-ft, of torque, respectively. The battery is 110 mm, 4.3 in, tall, and is guaranteed to retain 70% of its nominal capacity for 8 years. Anticipated range is 300 to 470 km, depending on the original capacity, based on the WLTP cycle. The 60 kWh battery that is compatible with fast charging rates of up to 130 kW, allowing it to reclaim 200 km of range in 30 minutes. The electric motor produces 160 kW and 300 Nm of torque, powering the front wheels and delivering a claimed 0 to 100 km/h, 62 mph, acceleration in under 8 seconds. It will also be equipped with 26 advanced driver assistance systems for its Level 2 semi-autonomous driving capabilities. The batteries have been placed in the car in a manner intended to insulate occupants from tire noise. Renault likes to call the Megane an electric GDI, which is over-egging things a bit. It lacks the involvement of a good sporty petrol hatch. Still, the 220 bhp version's performance is lively and the steering quick. Multi-link suspension gives it both responsive cornering and a very quiet, refined although not that soft ride. This Renault is fun to drive, so you might be tempted into range blunting speeds that negate the car's clever efficiency measures. Go sensibly though, and the range compromise is enough for most. Possibly the back seat space is tight for a leggy family. But for those, Renault will no doubt have other longer range derivatives before many years have passed. As for the non-electric parts of it, the Megane is conventionally desirable and has a handsome, well-finished, and easy-to-use cabin. The Megane is a car for people who know and like normal cars. You'll find little of the bare design or eccentricity that mark out the VW ID3 or i3 or Leaf as pioneers. Number 9. Ford Mustang Mach-E. The Ford Mustang Mach-E is a battery electric compact crossover SUV produced by Ford. The vehicle was introduced on November 17, 2019, and went on sale in December 2020 as a 2021 model. Conventional door handles are absent on the Mustang Mach-E, and the vehicle instead features buttons that pop open the doors and a small door handle protruding from the front doors. Owners can use their smartphones as a key as well as a keypad built into the B-pillar. The interior has a wide dashboard and built-in soundbar. The dash is equipped with a vertically mounted 15.5 inches, 39 centimeters, touchscreen infotainment system with a rotary dial fixed onto it. The majority of the car's systems are controlled through the screen, which uses Ford's recent Sync 4 operating system that can accept wireless updates. A 10.2 in, 26 cm, digital cluster for the driver is also featured, while the steering wheel retains a number of physical buttons. Charging is available via an AC home charger or DC fast chargers at up to 150 kW. The model was launched with 2 battery pack sizes and 3 power outputs. The entry-level rear-wheel drive version is offered with either a 68 kWh battery pack driving a 266 HP, 198 kW, motor or a 88 kWh extended battery pack driving a 290 HP, 220 kW, motor. Both battery packs have a claimed 0-60 miles per hour or 0-97 kilometers per hour time of 6.1 seconds or less and an EPA range of around 230 and 300 miles or 370 and 480 kilometers respectively. Both the SR and the ER models use the same motors. The output difference is due to the power from the battery. The larger 210 kW motor is used in the rear of all models, with the smaller 50 kW motor used in the front of the AWD models, Select and Premium. The GT Performance gets the same 210 kW motor in both front and rear. A dual-motor all-wheel drive version is also offered with either the same 68 kWh battery pack driving a 266 HP motor or the 88 kWh extended battery pack driving a 346 HP motor. Number 8. Tesla Model Y. The Tesla Model Y is a battery electric compact crossover manufactured by Tesla, Inc. The Model Y fills a smaller and less expensive segment than the mid-sized Tesla Model X. By comparison, the Model Y is a lot more traditional, with normal doors and rear seats that fold to give you flexibility between passengers and cargo. On top of that, it benefits from much of what makes the Model 3 so good, since it's based on that sedan. Unlike other car makers, Tesla doesn't adhere as strictly to model year changes. In the course of a year, a Tesla could gain new features and execute fixes via over-the-air updates. Tesla does like to chop and change its specs quite often, but for now at least this is really simple. You get a 75 kWh lithium-ion battery, which is rated on the WLTP test as good for 331 miles in this long-range dual-motor spec. Among its safety features, ABS brakes automatically sense when a tire has stopped rotating under extreme braking, and will modulate the brake pressure to allow the tire to rotate. This increases the vehicle's ability to turn while braking. Stability control automatically senses when the vehicle's handling limits have been exceeded and reduces engine power and or applies select brakes to help prevent the driver from losing control of the vehicle. Front impact airbags for the driver and passenger have been designed to protect the head during a frontal crash. Side impact airbags for the front seats have been designed to protect the torso during a side impact collision. Overhead airbags are used to protect the occupants' heads in the event of a side collision or rollover. Knee airbags help to protect the occupants' lower extremities from serious injury in the event of an accident. Seatbelt pretensioners automatically tighten seatbelts to place the occupant in the optimal seating position during a collision. The vehicle is equipped with a means of anticipating or detecting unwanted vehicle intrusion. The vehicle is equipped with an ignition disable device that will prevent the engine from starting if the correct original manufacturer key is not used. What's most interesting is this is the first Tesla we've driven where the standout impression isn't necessarily the acceleration, or the driver assistance tech, or the world-class touchscreen, or even the built-in games and memes. Obviously that's not as sexy as autopilot or ludicrous mode. Number 7. Skoda Enyaq 4. Skoda sits under the VW Group umbrella, which also includes seat. In profile, it looks lower and more squat than you might expect, with much of the visual weight sitting lower than on the petrol and diesel Kodiaq SUV. The tall rear end again works wonders for practicality and visibility on the move. The boot lid is plastered with big, bold Skoda lettering. The interior feels really well built, and depending on your choice of model, is available with a selection of sustainable, eco-friendly materials. The driving experience feels well-rounded, too. Even in rear-wheel drive guys, it feels safe and predictable, with plenty of grip and accurate steering. There's not much body roll and the brakes are strong. Speaking of the brakes, the regenerative braking setup isn't as strong as you'll find in some electric cars. But it can be operated using the steering wheel paddles, which is a handy touch. Note these are only standard on some specs, however. The two battery options dictate how much power your Enyaq 4 gets, although in reality you'll pick the one that provides sufficient range for your needs, with only 20-odd extra horsepower. The Enyaq 480 isn't noticeably faster than the basic car. In terms of performance, the only notable difference between the Enyaq 460 and the bigger battery Enyaq 480 is a small power hike. Small being the operative word in that sentence. The 60 makes 177 bhp, while the 80 boasts just 24 bhp more. The 60 will do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 8.5 seconds, while the 80 shaves that slightly to 8.2 seconds. Power delivery is pretty smooth and relatively linear, at least after that initial hit of torque you get in most electric cars. It's not going to set the seat of your pants on fire, but it's quick enough. If you are looking for something more potent, the 80X Sport E-Line model is currently the only version in the SUV range that comes with an electric motor on the front axle for four-wheel drive. Power also increases to 261 bhp, and the 0 to 62 miles per hour for the top of the model is 6.9 seconds. A hotter VRS version is on the way, boasting 295 bhp and even faster acceleration. Refinement is excellent. This is easily the quietest Skoda we've ever been in. Even road and wind noise seem to be kept at bay on all but the roughest surfaces. In fact, the only area where things seem to come undone is with regards to ride quality. The Enyaq 4 is available with up to 21-inch wheels, but even on our test car's 20s, it was a bit firm to be considered comfortable. One thing of note is that the optional adaptive dampers seem to improve the ride. We've tried an Enyaq 480 with these fitted, and despite the larger wheels, the ride is tangibly smoother. We'd strongly consider trying cars with and without the adjustable suspension before placing an order. Elsewhere, while the relaxed power delivery means the Skoda doesn't goad you into driving quickly. If you do find yourself on your favorite road, then there is fun to be had. Body control is good and the steering is nicely weighted. For an SUV it feels pretty agile. The brakes are strong, too. Number 6. BMW 9. The BMW 9 is a battery-electric midsize luxury crossover SUV manufactured and marketed by the German automobile manufacturer BMW. It was unveiled in concept form named Vision I next at the 2018 Paris Motor Show, and then is fully production-ready in November 2020. The 9 is the first purpose-built electric vehicle by BMW since the i3 from 2013, and the fourth BMW i sub-brand model. The BMW 9 is built on a bespoke electric drivetrain architecture and an aluminum space frame that supports an inner carbon fiber reinforced plastic, CFRP. The electric platform is a totally new development, though it is highly compatible with the modular CLAR platform. This shared chassis componentry allows BMW to produce the 9 alongside cars with combustion engines at the Dingolfing plant. The 9 nameplate was chosen to signify the model's position at the top of the electric i lineup and its role in showcasing technology, as it uses the new 5th generation version of BMW's electric drive system, and also offers high levels of autonomous and connected technology. The body is made out of a combination of high-strength steel, aluminium, thermoplastics, and carbon fiber reinforced plastic, CFRP, to keep weight as low as possible. Underpinning the 9 is an aluminium-intensive chassis featuring a double wishbone, front, and multi-link, rear, suspension, offering active rear-wheel steering. The front features a large blanked-off grille, which contains camera, radar, and other sensors needed for the driver assistance systems. The grille comes with a self-healing coating that can smooth out scratches and small chips to make sure that the sensors can always see clearly. The 9 sports a large 105.2 kWh battery pack that the EPA estimates will offer up to 324 miles of driving range per charge. When we tested the 9 on our 75 mph highway fuel economy test, we were surprised by its range. Normally, highway driving quickly reduces the overall driving range of an EV and the result is a fraction of its overall range estimate. But the 9 recorded an impressive 290 miles of range in our test. DC fast charging capability is standard and the 9 can recharge from 10% to 80% in just 35 minutes when hooked up to a 200 kW connection. BMW has partnered with EVgo to provide a network of public charging stations for 9 drivers, but the SUV is able to charge on other popular networks, as well as through a level 2 home charging station. BMW offers a comprehensive set of standard driver assistance features in the 9, including parking sensors, autonomous emergency braking, automatic high beam headlamps, and lane keeping assist systems. Number 5. Honda E. The Honda E is a battery electric supermini manufactured by Japanese automaker Honda, available in the European and Japanese markets in 2020. It is based on the urban EV concept presented at the 2017 International Motor Show Germany in September 2017. The advanced electric drivetrain employs proven Honda electrification technologies with fast charge capability to meet the demands of everyday commuting. The Honda E combines emission-free driving with exciting performance. Sporty, powerful, and extremely agile, the Honda E is made for the city. The high-capacity 35.5 kWh battery adds 80% of charge in just 31 minutes of rapid charging. The Honda E enjoys a max range capacity of up to 137 miles and accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.3 seconds. The Honda E is built on an all-new, bespoke EV platform. The motor is mounted at the rear axle, driving the rear wheels. Up front, under the hood, is the power inverter and associated hardware. In between is the temperature-controlled 35.5 kWh lithium-ion battery pack, which Honda says can be topped up to 80% of its charge in just 30 minutes using a CCS2 DC rapid charger. A Type 2 AC connection will deliver a full charge is 4.1 hours via a 7.4 kW supply. Suspension is by way of struts front and rear, with forged aluminum components for high strength and low weight. The brakes are 11-inch discs all round, the fronts ventilated for cooling. Perfect 50/50 front to rear weight distribution in a low center of gravity just 19.7 inches above the road. Honda says means low roll rates, allowing engineers to fit softer spring rates to improve ride comfort. Number 4. Audi e-tron GT. The e-tron name has historically been used by Audi to differentiate electrified vehicles from their conventionally powered siblings. High-performance driving aside, the GT is an easy car to drive. The adaptive suspension softens up to absorb all manner of pavement bumps but not to the point of feeling wallowy over undulating sections of highway. The e-tron GT does a commendable job of filtering out all other ambient noise too. The front seats are about as good as it gets. With highly supportive and adjustable sport buckets that include heating, cooling and massaging functions. The rear seats are mostly unremarkable, and the car's high floor relative to the rear seats means that long-legged individuals won't be very comfortable. On the upside, the e-tron GT's climate controls are easy to use, and the system delivers ample cooling to keep the cabin at your desired temperature. Another Audi specialty is interiors. They're not just pleasing to the eye, they're often very thoughtful and highly functional. The 2022 Audi e-tron GT we tested was equipped with the optional 20-inch wheels, giving it an EPA estimated range of 238 miles and a consumption rate of 41 kWh for every 100 miles driven. In Edmunds real-world range testing, we exceeded the EPA estimate by nearly 1%, managing 273 miles on a single max battery charge. Our test car was also more efficient, using 37.2 kWh/100 miles. Remember that for an EV, the lower the kilowatt-hour figure, the better. But compared to the rival Porsche Taycan 4s or Tesla Model S, the e-tron GT's range and efficiency are a little underwhelming. Here are the GT safety features: Audi Pre-Sense, which anticipates collisions and applies the brakes to prevent or reduce the impact. Traffic Jam Assist uses the adaptive cruise control and lane keeping system to provide assisted driving at speeds up to 40 miles per hour. Audi Side Assist monitors blind spots and alerts the driver to potential obstacles during lane changes. Generically known as blind spot monitoring. Number 3. Hyundai Ioniq 5. The Ioniq 5 comes with one of two battery packs, a 58 kWh pack or a 77.4 kWh pack. The smaller battery pack will serve as the base model for the Ioniq 5 range, and it comes with one electric motor that drives the rear wheels. Ioniq 5 models with the larger battery come with either rear-wheel drive or an additional motor up front that gives the vehicle all-wheel drive. Ioniq 5's electrical architecture is compatible with the latest high-powered DC fast charging stations. Connecting to a 350 kW charger, for instance, would allow you to recharge your Ioniq 5 from 10% battery charge to 80% in just 18 minutes, Hyundai says. The Ioniq 5 also offers a cool feature that allows you to power electronics, tools, and other gear with the car's battery pack. With the dual electric motor setup, which is what we tested, the Ioniq 5 provides excellent traction and smooth and responsive acceleration. The amount of regenerative braking, this is where an EV slows down after you let off the accelerator and helps recharge the battery pack, is adjustable, so you can dial in the amount you prefer. The switch to the regular friction brakes is also so smooth that you'll likely never notice. Another pleasant surprise is the Ioniq 5's handling. The Ioniq 5 has a supple ride over bumps and ruts in the road. Even the largest imperfections in the road surface don't cause undue jostling or vibrations in the cabin. It's easily one of the most well-composed cars in its class. The front seats are soft and supportive. One of our drivers put in about 8 hours of driving and had no complaints. The climate control system works well, and it's easy to keep things nice and comfortable inside the cabin. Plus, the lack of excess noise in the Ioniq 5 means the whirring of the fans is what you'll hear most. Road and tire noise is well hushed, and wind noise only gets noticeable at high speeds. The interior of the Ioniq 5 is far more conventional looking than the car's exterior. Its dual-screen layout is straightforward in appearance and in operation. It's easy to get the hang of and presents no special EV learning curve. The Ioniq 5 comes well stocked with technology features. Most of them are standard, and the available Highway Driving Assist 2 feature is Hyundai's latest combo of enhanced adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist. The aids work well enough to help reduce driving fatigue and avoid possible collisions, but they don't operate without flaw in all scenarios. According to the EPA, the Ioniq 5 with AWD will do 256 miles on a single charge, consuming 34 kWh of energy per 100 miles. The dual-motor Ioniq 5 can travel 270 miles on a single charge. It also consumed less energy doing so, using 30.9 kWh/100 miles after recharging back to a full battery. Recharging can be done at home or at public charging stations. Notably, the Ioniq 5 is compatible with the latest high-powered DC fast charging stations. Number 2. Tesla Model 3. The 2022 Tesla Model 3 is the smallest and most affordable offering from the California-based all-electric automaker. After making a number of updates for 2021 that included an upgraded interior, increased range on a full charge, and additional standard features, Tesla is keeping things pretty much the same for the 2022 Model 3. There are a few minor upgrades, such as a quicker processor for the infotainment system. The Model 3 delivers an impressive driving experience compared to other non-luxury electric vehicles. It has an excellent range, performance, and handling, comfortable seating and lots of interior room. And you can access to Tesla's prolific supercharger fast charging stations. The rear-wheel drive layout and powerful electric motor also provide natural athleticism and quicker acceleration than anything in its price range. If you're in the market for an electric vehicle, the Model 3 is virtually unbeatable for the price. Model 3 to be a pleasant place to sit, and that feeling held up for hours at a time. The innovative climate controls are adjusted via the touch screen, and they allow both driver and front passenger to direct the vents on either side of the cabin. Other manufacturers have since replicated this system. The cabin is quiet and keeps wind, electric propulsion, and most road noise at bay. Ride comfort is agreeable most of the time, but it can sometimes feel overly busy if the road surface is broken or uneven. The Model 3's controversial interior design looks modern and cutting edge. The driving position is highly adjustable and feels great, and the cabin is surprisingly roomy thanks to its minimalistic approach and all-glass roof. Forward visibility is also fantastic thanks to the low hood line. The large 15-inch touchscreen is the control center for everything. While it doesn't block your view, it commands a lot of your attention for too many routine tasks such as adjusting the mirrors or turning on your windshield wipers that should be doable without looking. The Model 3 navigation display is impressive because of its size, and it's one of the few that pulls Google Maps data in real time. That sometimes means spotty information in areas with poor reception, but otherwise the interface is easy to use. The Autopilot traffic-aware cruise and lane management system is one of the better systems out there, and cruise control will even slow for approaching curves. EPA range and efficiency estimates have changed slightly since then, but our general takeaways still apply. The Model 3's EPA estimated efficiency is great, especially for its performance output. The Standard Range Plus EPA combined rating of 24 kWh used per 100 miles bests the ratings of most other EVs, including the Chevrolet Bolt, BMW i3 and Kia Niro. The Model 3's EPA range is also pretty good at 250 miles for the Standard Range Plus. The Model 3 went 232 miles before needing to be recharged, 18 miles shy of the EPA estimate. Number 1. Porsche Taycan. The Porsche Taycan is a sporty luxury electric sedan and Porsche's first EV. Since its debut, the Taycan has been one of our favorite cars on the road, electric or otherwise. The Taycan has a growing number of rivals in this segment, the most notable of which is the recently updated Tesla Model S. The Model S beats the Taycan when it comes to straight-line performance and overall range, but we much prefer driving and living with the Porsche day to day. The Taycan is a technological masterpiece that manages to deliver incredible comfort and effortless driving. There's the effortless balance and ease of a rear-wheel drive sports car, but with ridiculous amounts of traction and thrust exiting corners. It kind of feels like cheating. The brakes feel and perform amazingly, offering ample stopping power and none of the artificialness that's common among today's EVs and hybrids. The Taycan does casual cruising well too, with the exception of its lack of automatic regenerative braking. The seating is cushy but not enveloping, but only the sport seats provide the lateral support needed for any dynamic driving. The rear seats aren't nearly as good, with their overly prominent lumbar support, tight toe room and a slightly elevated floor height. Ride comfort, on the other hand, is impressive. Given how much the Taycan weighs and how well it handles, the ride is incredibly well composed. It's complemented by a very quiet cabin. And it's not just the absence of engine noise that's impressive, but also the car's insulation from outside noise in general. The single biggest miss here is an overcomplicated climate control system, particularly the virtual vent controls. There's a bit of a lag time when you adjust the vent position, and it's quite distracting if you're on the go. If the AC system wasn't so effective in its auto mode, this would be a bigger issue. The Taycan's touchscreen interface is pretty good but not perfect. The lower touchscreen controls the climate settings but can also be used to navigate the upper touchscreen through its virtual touchpad and shortcut buttons. Once inside, there's lots of space up front, but the rear seat is small for a car this long, and the lack of toe space under the front seats makes it feel more cramped. Rear passengers should watch their heads as the swoopy roofline runs pretty low. Even though the rear window is pretty narrow, rearward visibility is perfectly fine. And it's even better out front thanks to the thin windshield pillars. The door-mounted mirrors ensure objects don't get obscured when you're turning. Arguably the worst part of visibility is the reverse camera and its wide, distorted fisheye lens perspective. The EPA estimates that a Taycan 4s with the standard battery has a range of 199 miles with a consumption of 42 kWh/100 miles, which is the EV equivalent of a gas guzzler. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe this video.